Okay, that's kind of weird. That the audio didn't work. Let's make sure that I got this all set up correctly. Okay. Yeah, we're good. I think we're good. Oh yeah, and let's go turn on the text-to-speech for you guys. Oh, sorry about that. So let's restart, shall we? Back to the charts. Okay, so yesterday, lots of big candles. Unbeknownst to me, up at the top here, there was some concern about the ongoing stimulus discussions. It kind of sounds like it's not going to happen. It sounds like the Democrats don't want to give in at all, and the Republicans aren't going to allow them to, you know, do this state stimulus that they want. Uh, I think eventually the Democrats are going to have to give in, but they don't really have the leverage they think they do. Treasuries, you can see, pushing down a little bit. Oh, I was also noting that this whole thing about us moving up overnight is really becoming a thing. Like, man, most of the big moves have been overnight. Oil, well, look, oil still continuing upwards. Gold just plummeting. So, well, we'll talk about that in a second. Copper doing okay. Up to new highs. We come over here and look at the dollar. The dollar is pretty weak, but has been recovering the past day. There's that big spike yesterday. That was kind of the, oh no, the stimulus might not happen, and then back. But here's the thing that I find so interesting is that, like, you come over here to Bitcoin. So people are like, oh yeah, Bitcoin is moving up because of weakness in the dollar and everything. But like, Bitcoin is up and the dollar or gold is down. Like, what? So I continue to think that this stuff that's going on in Bitcoin is bullshit. They're trying to claim that it's due to fundamental drivers, but it's really not. It's really that Bitcoin wants to hit 20K, and that's all there is to it. And they're going to pump it until it gets there. My nose has been weeping quite a bit, so you're probably going to see me dabbing my nose a lot and not talking a lot today. Just kind of dumb, but anyways, um the thing about Bitcoin is that when you look at, like, just go and look at Google activity for Bitcoin, right? It's not anywhere near what it was in 2017. Um, the activity on the blockchain is lower still. You see less blockchain activity, but the chain itself, the value of individual blocks is worth a little bit more because, the block size has been reduced. So that kind of puts us at the same overbought level that we were at in 2017. That just kind of gives you an idea of like where things are. So I really feel like this whole thing in Bitcoin is, I feel like people are gaslighting us. Like, they're lying about why things are moving, because gold is down quite significantly over the past 2 days and Bitcoin is up. Like, okay, this doesn't make any sense at all. So there's a rhythmic. Maybe we'll get somebody in here to talk with us, because I am not on at all. I don't know what the trade here is. I mean, I suppose we could go short, but it's in a spot where I would be thinking about going short. Same with the Treasury. Well, I'm going to try and pay attention to the Treasury. Darth Scalpulus. This is a new guy in Discord. That's funny AF. I'll let him post a picture. There. I guess I should try blowing my nose a little bit, maybe. Oh, you passed the combine, did you? Wait, did you? Which? Oh, that's the one where you only have to pass it once, anyways, huh? Good job. Now don't blow it. Remember, the problem is not getting funded. The problem is staying funded, right? So be careful with your risk. Be more careful with your risk than you were when you were trading it, when you were trying to get funded. Yeah, I've met a lot of people. I've met a lot of people that have been funded, but I haven't met anybody that's been funded for years. You know what I mean? Man, I am not a happy camper. Well, let's stop talking about it. I don't want to drag you guys down. You know, another thing going on here. So the whole Janet Yellen is going to be Treasury Secretary. That seemed like a kind of an unconventional pick just because I thought that Janet Yellen was like retired and not available for the picking right now. The market liked Janet Yellen when she was the president of the Federal Reserve. Have we ever had a person that they were president of the Federal Reserve and then they became the Treasury Secretary? I don't know if that's ever happened. It seems like he picked her because she was a woman, but that's okay. She was probably more qualified than Mnuchin. Here's the thing, like with the Mnuchin, I don't think Mnuchin was picked because he was like the most qualified person to have the job, right? He was picked because he thought that he would be loyal, like seriously. So, but kind of the big takeaway, though, I think, is still that there's not going to be any surprises in a Biden administration, right? He's picking all of the most conventional people he can for the jobs, and really all a continuation of the same monetary regime that we had under Obama, which seems like a problem to me. Like, I don't think people were particularly happy with the monetary regime under Obama, but you know, what do I know? All I remember is the market throwing fits before the Trump election, and then being all okay about it after Donald Trump won. So we shall see. EBIT pulling back a little bit there. Treasury upticking it as well with it. Not giving you a lot of opportunities, although that 08 looks awfully stable. Do get some numbers. Red Book, house prices, Laguard speaking. Oh, when you guys speak, does the text to speech read out to you guys? No, it does not.
Mahdi El Mesaudi says yeah, it's real money now.
There we go.
Stop taking short.
Mahdi El Mesaudi says yeah, it's real money now.
Okay.
Shortcuts.
No, that's wrong. I was thinking it's because we went through Windows Update or something. There we go. There we go. Fix that. I get a lot of spam comments, fortunately. There we go. All right. Mattis says he hopes Joe Biden takes America first out of national security strategy. That's quite something to say. Well, I'm surprised that Mattis was ever hired by Donald Trump that after him saying that sort of a thing. There really has been a thing where Donald Trump put people into his administration that actively tried to undermine what he was trying to do. Do you have him going in there? Well, let's see here. What's Brannigan saying? When last did Bitcoin close below a previous daily low? Answer this and you'll know when the market is going to see a mass profit taking session. Till then, keep calm for the test of 20K, I'm sure. I'm sure there will be some heavy resistance on the first test of 20K too. The biggest shift in Washington in January won't be that Democrats are taking the White House. It will be that the Biden administration will be, as Brendan Buck pointed out, delightfully boring. This is an administration filled with people who have deep experience in government and in the agencies they'll be running. The Post puts it this way: by design, they seem meant to project a dutiful competence as Biden creates any government overseen by those who have run it before. They believe in a linear plotting. Man, this whole thing just seems so bizarre to me. Like, for the last freaking 10 years, it's all, things need to change. This economy doesn't work for everybody. The elites are just in this to increase their own power and money. Who doesn't say that these days? Like freaking everybody, right, left, here, all over the place. And then Joe Biden comes in. Okay, we're just going to put on in everybody that we had in before. Okay. And like that's somehow going to be a great thing for the Democrat Party. I just don't see it, man. You know, I had this interesting experience yesterday. You guys, you there? I'm going to try to talk. I can't handle the silence, even though I sound like crap. Oh man. I was on r/economics and somebody was like, "Oh, does Janet Yellen believe in modern monetary theory?" Oh, like this guy clearly has no clue what he's talking about. You would think that Janet is into MMT? Like they don't realize that these are all the same people that were in before. He's like, well, of course, nobody in power actually believes in monetary theory because this is all the conspiracy theory that they have, right? Oh, man. But these, I think that a lot of the far left liberal Democrats think that Joe Biden is going to play into their far left tendencies, and that's not what's happening. They're just putting the swamp back in charge. So yeah, there's my rant for the day. It was short and
Chris
simple.
Egan says, morning, Seth.
Good morning, Chris. How are you? I'm thinking I'm gonna have to try and put this nose thing on me because it's just draining and draining and draining. And I'm just pulling stuff out. So I'm gonna go do that. I'll be right back. All right. I'm just going to turn myself. Do we suffer from allergies? No. But I had a nose surgery.
Chris Egan says, do you suffer with allergies?
Yeah. I had a nose surgery. That's why I'm having so much trouble today. They're supposed to take the stents out today, this afternoon. So hoping tomorrow will be a lot better. There we go. So look at how ridiculous it look. It looks so ridiculous. I look like that guy from Dirty Harry, the bad guy from Dirty Harry. Yeah. There we go. The King Corn gonna hit
Sam Willow
20K
says the King
today.
Corn gonna hit 20K today, Seth.
I don't know if today is the right timing or not. We're talking about Bitcoin, right? I don't know. It's just like last time around, man. They mess around with it during the holidays. I don't know why it's this time of year, but yeah, just be careful. I mean, like, the thing is, who's moving this? Where's the money coming from, right? And it seems like it's all coming from Tether, and then it's Bitcoin whales doing it. I'd be really careful about just like trying to follow it, right? Overall, though, I think there's a pretty good chance that they will get past 20K and then some. But Brannigan Barrett was posting a pretty good theory there. I think that if they have a day where they close below a daily low, then the momentum dies and you can see things really turn around. Well, eBay moving around quite a bit. Treasury's bidding up a little bit, and it didn't take much volume to do it either, which I find curious. Probably will take some volume to get through 09.5. That looks pretty stable there, 09.5. Some reloading at 09. Which I suppose makes sense. And yeah, as I was saying earlier, Bitcoin being up while gold is down is, I think, should concern you. So trying to say that Bitcoin is up because of fundamental reasons, but it's not fundamental reasons.
Sam Willow says I'm longing BTC off of small time frame EVIS on stupid high leverage and tight stops. Sam Willow says Emma's.
Your money. I don't want to have anything to do with it right now. You know, Warren Buffett was talking about shorting things. I was watching a video where Warren Buffett was talking about shorting
Sam
things.
Willow
He was
says
saying,
it works until it doesn't.
You'll
Brad
see.
Messerl says I hope you heal fast, feel better soon, smiley face.
Yeah, thank you. But Warren was saying, the number of securities you'll see that are overvalued, you'll see 10 times the number of overvalued securities as you will see undervalued securities. I was like, man, ain't that the truth? Then he was saying they could be offering them for 10 times what they're actually worth. I was like, whoa, wait. I didn't ever think of it on those terms. But he looks at what they're worth and where they get to, and that's what he sees. Well, Bitcoin is well beyond what it's worth. Right now, it's at a point where in the past that's created really big crashes. So we'll see how long they last. If they last, but the prediction was that you'll see a major crash before the end of the year. So let's see if they do it or not. I would hope for their sake, at the very least, that they do make it past 20K, because if they have a complete collapse before 20K, that's gonna hurt confidence a lot. I guess it would probably take a bigger crash than what I was talking about for it to get to 20K. Like, it would have to collapse like 80%. The other funny thing is that Zero Hedge is blaming it on Janet Yellen returning. Oh yeah, a lot of this is probably due to Ethereum too. Let's see here, 524,000 Ethereum transferred into the ETH2 deposit contract. Going from 18K to 100K in a year is not a stretch. Oh my god, these people are crazy.
Sam Willow says, do you believe in BTC and ETH long term or not too fussed and just enjoying watching the madness?
I don't believe in it long term now. I mean, I think that cryptocurrencies will be an asset for sure. I'm not entirely sure if it will always be Bitcoin and Ethereum. The issue, I'm still stuck on the blockchain limit, man. With the block size limited in Bitcoin, that limits how much utility it can have significantly. And the Bitcoin bulls seem to think that that Bitcoin is intended to be like this thing that never actually gets used. And this is just total nonsense. This is just total nonsense. I'm sorry. And I would think that when you're asking, do you believe that at some point Bitcoin will replace the dollar? And I think that that's just absolutely silly. Not silly. Stupid.
Sam Willow says agree. Blockchain needs to improve technically.
Because it's not just that the technology can't handle it without a block size increase. And really it needs, because like the Lightning Network and all these other things that they've been promised did not work out. They've been total duds, all right? But it's economically, it's not capable of doing it because it's deflationary. You just can't base an economy on Bitcoin. You can't, because anytime that there's an economic downturn, Bitcoin is going to fall apart. See, there's a silly thing happening in Bitcoin I see constantly. They say, okay, some whale goes out and they buy Bitcoin. They say, okay, well, I think that central banks are being too easy and I want to buy Bitcoin as a hedge against it. So the price of Bitcoin goes up.
Sam
And then
Willow
the whale
says, I
turns
don't
around.
believe it replaces the dollar. I do believe the store of value narrative and gold-like characteristics. But for sure its development is not good enough.
So they go and they buy Bitcoin and it moves up, and then they turn around and they say, see, look, Bitcoin is a flight to safety risk asset. It moved up because of, they think that the central banks aren't going to be responsible. And so that's why it moves. And that's like, no, it moved because you bought it, dude. Like, And if you hadn't have bought it for that reason, it wouldn't have gone up. There's no reason that it has to go up like that. Like with the treasuries, it's different. With the treasuries, like it literally has to move a certain way because a certain number of bonds are going to be issued and a certain number of bonds are going to be bought back by the Federal Reserve. And there's a certain number of people out there that have to buy bonds because that's their business and their living. And in Bitcoin, the number of people out there that actually it's their living Bitcoin, like miners, that's it. They don't have to do anything. So to say that there's a fundamental driver behind it is nonsense. It's 100% speculation. There is no fundamental drivers. Well, there are fundamental drivers in Bitcoin, but they pale in comparison to the amount of speculation in there, right? And the store of value narrative, I think, doesn't really make sense because for something to really be a store of value, there needs to be some utility for it. And if you can't actually use it, if they make it so hard for you to use, the reason it's a store of value is because people can't use it. That I don't think that's going to work. It's going to continue to be a speculation volatile asset, and it will fall apart at the least opportune time, and then serious
Sam Willow says you can
financial
use
watchers.
it on PayPal.
Okay, so let's look at the PayPal thing, because when we first heard about PayPal, it was just that you could have it. Now we're saying that you can pay people in Bitcoin on PayPal. I don't think that they're being 100% honest with us. But even if you're using it on PayPal, that is kind of even more silly. It's like, oh, okay. So we'll go back to all of the payment systems that we were trying to get rid of? Like, isn't the whole point of Bitcoin so that you don't have to have services like PayPal? Like, what? And PayPal is the driver of this run? That just makes zero sense to me. It makes zero sense to me. Let's see here. No, I haven't seen anything new about it since the last month. Users cannot use crypto as a funding instrument for commerce at this time, although this is planned for 2021. It would be good for like Bitcoin Cash, but not for Bitcoin, because with Bitcoin you can't actually use it.
Dan H says one problem with Bitcoin is that when you use it to send money, the vendor will charge you 3% to convert back to cash.
3%? What? Really? I just think it's deliciously ironic that the thing that is driving Bitcoin's action is that it's being adopted by a pay network that Bitcoin was essentially designed to replace. But you're right. If you want to use there's still issues with as a merchant accepting Bitcoin. Because if a lot of people actually started using it, then the blockchain would be full. And that would be the end of it. In fact, I'm surprised that we haven't seen a spam attack to fill the blockchain yet. But I'm guessing that these guys, they want to have a smooth transition for Ethereum 2.0. Which is another one where, again, it's the whole thing about Ethereum 2.0 is they want you to hold it. They want you to hold your money and get paid for it in interest, essentially, instead of using it. Like you get like this would be like if the Federal Reserve right now was trying to get the U.S. economy going, and they did it by raising interest rates. That's basically what the managers of this coin are doing right now. They're trying to convince people to save their money in Bitcoin instead of using it to develop the Bitcoin economy. You guys understand where I'm going here? It just seems crazy to me. So yeah, they could take it. They'll go. I'm not going to be involved. Maybe they'll pump up Garlic Coin for me.
Dan H says, I guess all fiat methods have problems.
Yeah. I think that the Federal Reserve System has been extremely successful. Everybody complains about it because, you know, different people benefit from interest rates being low or being high. So nobody's ever going to be happy with it. But it has been incredibly stable for, you know, over 100 years now. Far more stable, at least, than it ever was under, you know, the gold standard, for instance. So, yeah. Well, Garlic has been doing pretty good, actually.
Sam Willow says, thanks for your opinions, Seth. Always good to hear from you on these subjects. Even if we don't agree on some things, one thing we can agree on is opportunity exists in all markets.
Yeah. Well, that's the great conundrum, isn't it? Just because opportunity exists doesn't mean that you'll be able to effectively take advantage of it. And I think that people, you know, jump because they're afraid they're going to miss the opportunity. And the issue is that in some cases, the risk is much larger than what the opportunity is. I see that here in Bitcoin. Everybody's like, oh, we're going to jump on because Bitcoin's moving up. But it's like, yeah, but how far can they actually make it? Like, they're already at levels that are far beyond pretty much anything else. There's almost guaranteed to be some sort of a crash. And I mean like a 50% decline or more in the next 6 months. How much more money can you actually make from it? And these guys all think that it's going to go to like 100K. They think that they're going to make 5 times their money. I just... It's crazy. Yeah, Garlic Coin has been doing pretty good. At one point, they were at 0.004. $87 transacted in the last day. Oh, $304 transacted in the last day. Well, I tell you what. If Garlic coin ever becomes a thing again. Sure has a good looking pattern. I bet you that most altcoins look like that though. Yeah, they pretty much all have the same pattern. The last 7 days. It's funny. We should be careful also because once you start to see that altcoin switch, you know. And there's definitely going to be something too. People tried to put it all into Ethereum to get control of it, and then maybe when that all subsides, we see what happens. Then maybe we have a decline. I don't know. Index is pushing down a little bit there. Let's move this over here.
Ace Trades says trying to go short here.
Yeah, I can't see why. There is a pretty, I don't know. So we just got the Case-Shiller Home Index at 6.6 versus 5.1. I'm not terribly surprised by that, to be honest. I don't know if this location
Lobo
did
Trader says
specifically
good morning,
is...
Seth. You did not become much better, did you?
Oh, I think I'm worse, man. My nose is... So I'm not bleeding anymore, but my nose is like draining. Like, I'm sure that it's getting a little infected because it's like, you know, slightly yellow tinted liquid just coming out of my nose. So that's why I hit the camera, but I got this thing on my nose trying to catch it. I don't know if it's doing a good job. I could still kind of feel it, but... So we'll do it like that, so you don't have to look at me.
Lobo Trader says yeah. Ace Trades says short 3,603.25. Feeling iffy. Lobo Trader says disappointed. Uzi Knesset says damn man, you're committed to the craft lol.
What, am I coming in and streaming even though I'm like my nose is awful and everything?
Lobo
Well,
Trader says OMG.
Here's my conundrum is that I don't really feel like talking right now. But I tell you what, man, I went to bed early last night. Sleeping is miserable right now.
Uzi Knesset says yeah, I mean, if it were me, I'd be like, hey, let's call it Thanksgiving break, lol.
Yeah, sleeping is like torture right now. I would just be sitting on the couch and I want to do that. This is like the one non-boring thing I can do during the day. I don't even have to actually actively trade it. I could just take like a YOLO or whatever and have fun with it. So yeah. Interesting that the treasuries are still holding up here. They came back across this spread really easily. The 30-year didn't come up nearly as high though. Something very, very, very interesting developing at the treasuries. Maybe a little bit of a steepener in the 10 and 30 coming in a little bit. Anyways, so it's not so much that I'm dedicated to the craft as it is that I'm just freaking bored. And I wouldn't want to be doing anything. It would just be torture for me to be sitting in bed right now. I'm sitting here thinking, okay, what can I do between 10 and my appointment, the 3 hours, you know? Okay, well, there's a little bit more there. Ooh, if he gets that.
Ace Trades says any news today?
Not that I've seen. You know what, we should be trying to be really on the ball here for sure, because we missed some headlines yesterday that were important. Okay, so Ace did get his no, he didn't. One tick short of his 2 points.
Ace Trades says not yet.
I guess in that instance, the timing was more important than the absolute price position, but like when I'm just looking at my Bollinger Band, it's just a little bit too aggressive, so I would much prefer them to come back to like 04 and take it if I was going to take a short. I think he's going to get it, dude. Look at that. It's so close. Still pretty quiet.
Pierre Klotz says why are you shorting it?
So the reason Ace would be going short here, you will usually be going with the momentum, and you can see the last few 5-minute bars, they've all been down or running below moving averages. That was the thing that I was saying, is one of the things that I look at is just where we are at in comparison to a Bollinger Band. And so to get to 25 is a little bit of a stretch. The risk reward basically isn't quite as good, but you can see it still went. It still went for him. Didn't fill him, but I haven't taken one. I've been watching these treasuries, but the treasuries haven't really been giving me a very clear. The level 2 in the 10-year is fairly random at the moment. Maybe they come back down. We'll see.
Pierre Clot says to me it is a dead day.
Yeah. Well, it's before the open, but I'm sure given the overnight action that there'll be plenty of action once we get going. But this is just a time frame that we know that people will
Ace
tend
Trade
to make
says at Pierre
moves.
Clot I shorted it because I don't want to get a real job.
There you go. I mean, I think that they should be able to make it back to 3,600. It's just a question of how long it's going to take and what they're going to do first. Ooh, did that fill him? Probably not filled.
Ace Trade says there she is.
Did that fill you? 31? I didn't see how many was there at the beginning. I guess you'd been in the queue for a while. It probably could fill you at 31. So it was 50 before.
Ace Trade says
Oh,
I
you
moved my
moved it?
target.
You moved it? Okay.
Ace Trade says stop at break even plus a tick for commas.
Gotcha. Okay, well, that was pretty convincing clear, that one. Pulling back again, though. Seems like Treasury's still unsure if they're reading this as bullish or bearish. Dollar's moving up, though. It's kind of an edge of a profile there that we should be cautious about, too.
J Constant says hello, what's up with the nose?
Oh yeah, we turned that back off. I had nose surgery on last Friday, so you would not want to look at that. Here, you guys could look at the tape. I have these stents in my nose. They're supposed to take them out today, but I got this little
Uzi
thing on my
Knesset
nose
says
to
the nose.
try and catch the liquid that's kind of dripping out of it.
J Constant says, okay, I wish you well. I just sold all my Bitcoin.
Oh, really? You took your profits? You're not going to wait for 20K? I'm surprised, but good for you. You made money on it. Either way, right? So good for you. This is a pretty good move overnight in Bitcoin, I must say. It's really like an unnatural looking chart, right? Which should just make us like that much more suspicious about it, but I digress. Okay, they coming back up. You want to take a long off of that one? I don't think that the resting orders are favorable towards that one.
Ace Trades says just got stopped out. Lesson reinforced. Should have harvested my two. Riverton says hi.
It's okay,
I
I
am new
think
to
you
the
did
trading
it
and
the way
enjoy
you were
watching
supposed
and
to.
hopefully soon we'll dive right in.
Oh, don't dive right in, Riverton. Just take your time. Don't be in such a rush to lose money.
Riverton says get well soon.
Oh, I will. I'm sure we got the stream. I'll stream tomorrow, and then
Ace
we'll
Trades
have the
says at
Thanksgiving
Riverton, good
holiday.
luck. This is a great place to learn.
Yeah, thank you. Then by the time you see me again on next Monday, I'm hoping that I will be like feeling way better.
J Constant says I saw so many green 3-day candles on Bitcoin it must retrace soon I think.
Yeah, Brannigan Barrett, he was saying if there's a daily close below a low, below the previous day's low, I was thinking about that. I was like, oh yeah, that would probably be a really great
Gary Rich says it's all
way to
about the
play it.
love.
The way that it's moved up through 19K though, and like honestly, where is the like just if you're in Bitcoin, look at where the volume is coming from. Where is the volume coming from? And it's all coming from Tether, which suggests that they're
Ace
either
Trades
borrowing
says
money
at
or
Gary
it's a
Rich, hey
whales.
bro, morning.
And if it's a whales, pumping it up. Why would you, as a whale, pump it up all this way, and then be like, you know what? No, I don't really think 20K is appropriate. Let's not go for a new all-time high. Come on, they're gonna be gutted for it. Okay,
Gary
well,
Rich says at ACE, how are you?
more stuff about Yellen, LL Rain saying Janet Yellen's appointment will be universally
Ace
welcomed,
Trades
and
says at
rightly
Gary
so.
Rich, a little pissed I didn't harvest my two.
Oh, it's okay. There'll be plenty more. So this one we could have potentially taken it long, but nah, I don't think so.
J Constant says I hear lots of sheeple say this Bitcoin run is gig institutions buying up all the Bitcoin. They are talking about 100 KBTC 2021.
I think 100K is extremely unrealistic. I mean, there's been like a
Ace
real
Trades says
fundamental
news at
change in
8.
Bitcoin for that to happen.
Jay Constance says haha okay. Jay Constance says even 1 million.
Yeah, I mean it's one thing to go above to hit a new all-time overvalued level in Bitcoin, sure, but to go to like a new all-time overvalued level and then increase in value times 5 seems a little silly, don't you think? So we'll see. This is the thing. The thing that's really crazy about it is that I'm looking at something that's like the fundamental value of Bitcoin, right? And we're just looking at it like, okay, when you get to this level, it's pretty hard to sustain after that in the past. Okay. But do you think these guys that are buying it care about that stuff? No. So, I mean, I could potentially keep going as long as people are willing to throw money at it. This little sleeve for my nose is not really working.
Gary Rich says the market's like Yellen for tree sec.
Yeah, I find that interesting interpretation of it, Gary. I mean, of course, Janet Yellen's a good pick. Some people the other day were like, there's no way that she's going to get in. The GOP will what is the word? They will oppose any nomination to anything. And I'm like, no, like, of all people that you would have a hard time trying to deny confirmation, it's Janet Yellen, guys. Like, she'll be easily confirmed. Easily confirmed. But to me, having a significant market move off of it seems kind of like, I don't know. I think that the rise of right probably due to other stuff.
3,602-ish.
Okay. Why are you still short?
Jay Constance says sending Bitcoin from Binance costs 0.0005 BTC and takes hours.
Yeah. Well, I tell you what, if the whole PayPal thing starts going through and people actually start using it, like that party will end really, really quickly when they realize that they've filled up the blockchain, you know? Okay.
Gary Rich says she will be dovish and continue the same.
Probably. This is where I'm saying that, like, everything we're getting from the Biden administration is the same that we had during the Obama administration. Was that really that great? Because all I can remember is everybody complaining about it. You know? I think it probably should be okay for stocks, but...
Jay Constance says I thought Lightning Network made BTC faster.
Yep, except for that nobody uses Lightning Network. Lightning Network is too complicated to be practical, it seems. Now there is that other little network that Coinbase and a couple of other exchanges have to exchange coins to each other.
RJ Wheels says the swamp is back.
Exactly. Like the Joe Biden administration is like a full embrace of what Donald Trump calls the swamp.
Gary Rich says I allowed myself not to make money on healthcare stuff during Obama admin.
Okay, so this is coming up a little bit. Surprised at the 6-year 8K Schiller home price inflation. You ain't seen nothing yet, says Ian Shepherdson. Probably.
RJ Wheel says the giddiness on CNN and MSNBC is annoying. Journalists should never be giddy. Jay Constant says Donald Trump gave Joe Biden green light for presidency. That means it's over for Trump?
Well, I think that the people are kind of reading all of this the wrong way. It's been over for Donald Trump for a very long time. And I think that the campaign has realized this for a long time too, but that they feel that it is their obligation to expose the issues with the American voting system right now. And so they're going to try and push their court cases as far as they reasonably can. But he's told them, yeah, you can start pushing the transition thing. I don't see why it matters.
Lee D says, Swamp, at least supports all of America, and not just the states that voted for him, and doesn't insult anybody that disagree with them.
The idea that the swamp supports all of America is laughable, to be honest with you, Lee. Okay. The swamp is not give a shit about you or me or anybody else. The swamp only cares about the swamp. The swamp does what makes the swamp money. They don't care about farmers in Nebraska. They don't care about computer programmers in Silicon Valley.
Knesset says, yeah, that's probably the most hilariously wrong thing I'll hear all day.
They don't care about you. If they make money off of it, they'll sell your job off to China or whatever else it is that they've got to do. Now, Janet Yellen. Is Janet Yellen a swamp creature? I mean, I really didn't feel like that when she was in office. I thought she did a really good job. But the point was more, I think the thing that's going to matter more to us as traders is that the Joe Biden administration is a return to almost everything that Obama did. And there was problems with that.
Gary Rich says Pres Trump lost the election, he didn't die. He will return with a media company to make it great again.
Oh, you think so?
RJ Wheel says Lee. The swamp banks on YIU thinking that.
There you go. I'm just so sick of my nose draining here.
50 Ghosts Trading says that describes all politicians and big biz people. They just say what needs to be said to get elected, and the minimal gestures to say, see, we're keeping your interests in mind, it's all a lie.
Sure. Except for if you're a politician like Donald Trump and you just do what you think you should do. And probably in many cases he did things that didn't
Ace
really
Trade
actually
says
help people, but he was doing what he thought was right.
2.00 way too close to open.
And
Uzi
he did a
Knesset
lot
says
of
the
things.
fun part is that they'll never know about it because their news is in the pocket. Now you'll get 4 years of complacency. You'll get nothing from a Biden presidency and you won't even notice it.
Oh, you don't think so? So answer me this. You guys remember the state of the markets just before the 2016 election? Do you remember all that? Like, it wasn't, the markets weren't happy. Things were kind of tightening a little bit, but they weren't happy about it. And then Donald Trump won and it was like off to the races. But like, all I remember from the Obama administration, I guess maybe because I was a Republican, but was people complaining about it. And things are just frankly worse now than they were then. Like, because now the college debt issue is just a bigger issue. And yeah, I'm a little like kind of questioning it, you know? Okay, so let's, it's so close to the open that I'm going to try and take, oops. Well, that should have filled. There we go. Okay, we cut it. There we go, Ace. Why? Oh, you took it at 02? Okay, well. I thought I was taking your trade, but I guess I beat you to it. Complaints does not equal reality is partially, but not total. Well, I'm just saying, like, let's just look at the reality of it, okay, from a political standpoint. And when I say political standpoint, I mean, what does this mean for the balance of power between Democrats and Republicans going into the future, the next set of elections, the midterms and the 2024 election and everything else? And all I'm saying is, if Joe Biden just goes back and does everything the way that things were before, I don't think that that's necessarily going to be beneficial for them, because people didn't like that. People had problems with that and they wanted to change it. And the whole reason that Donald Trump came about in the first place was because they didn't like that sort of stuff. That's why Bernie Sanders was popular now, was because the Democrats didn't like that stuff. And you're going to go and double down on it and do it for another 4 years. Where do you think that's actually going to lead in 4 years? Do you believe that, as the media portrayal that you're getting right now, is that it will be stability and the economy will just grow on its own and everything will be hunky-dory? And I'm, given the amount of debt that we have on and all of the other systemic issues that we have, I think that at some point that there's going to be problems and that people are going to end up being dissatisfied. The Devs will have a civil war. Yeah, I think so. You're totally right, RJ. Within their party, yeah, because the progressives think that Joe Biden is supposed to kowtow to them. So I told this story a little earlier. Hey, I'm sounding pretty okay right now, aren't I? Because I'm going. I told this story earlier, but it was like nobody was watching that, so I'll tell you guys again. I was reading on Reddit in the economics thread about Janet Yellen becoming the Treasury Secretary, and somebody asked, "Does Janet Yellen believe in modern monetary theory?" Now you go and you look up these guys' profile. He's like a total lefty, okay? This guy clearly doesn't understand jack squat about economic issues, or he wouldn't be asking, does Janet Yellen believe in modern monetary theory? All right, because she was Federal Reserve president for almost all of Obama's term, right? But isn't it funny that they were expecting that, oh, he should put somebody in that believes in modern monetary theory? Of course not. See, the left expects him to do certain things, and here's what's going to happen, is they're going to get all of the diversity hires that they want. Like, you notice, Treasury Secretary, that's a woman, and it sounds like that then Boehner would be president at the Federal Reserve, so that's a woman. There you go. You got your 2 diversity hires. I'm totally okay with it, because I think that both of those people are qualified. But do you think that that's going to make the far left happy? No, I don't. That's not what they want at all, right? They want social justice or whatever, and they want it in an economic sense, which means that they want economic policies to make things right, which generally means they want you to steal money from the rich and give it to them, essentially, right? And Joe Biden's not going to do that. He's not. He's like a moderate Democrat. He's putting the swamp in. He's not really going to be president. It's just going to be all of his hires. And what are all of his hires? The same people that y'all been complaining about for 30 years. Yeah. That Democrats are going to be pissed. And come 2024, if Joe Biden doesn't run for a second term, which he said he wasn't going to do, and they have to pick somebody new, and it's Kamala Harris versus like the moderate wing of the party. I don't know who would pick up that mantle, but yeah, it'll be a real war. Not like this last time. It'll be a real war. Without an angry media to fuel them, the far left should become irrelevant over the next 4 years. Without a critical media speaking truth to power, they'll have nothing to be angry about. Well, no, what they'll do is they'll just continue to harp on the right, like the right. I mean, this is what they always do, but just remember that the party that is out of power generally tends to enjoy better cable ratings. So now that's kind of interesting because Fox News is coming into the time period where their talk show hosts are going to do the best. And what are they doing? They're running towards the left, which is hilarious. It's just a hilariously bad business decision that Fox is making right now. So then you got like Newsmax. I don't think that the guys on the far right really trust Newsmax all that much either. Or One America. I don't think that they're a suitable replacement. If Donald Trump came in, as Gary said earlier, and made his own news platform, that would be a big deal. So maybe it goes more towards the online stuff, but watch. The far left will just spend even more and more time now complaining about what everybody on Parler is saying. Because, like, really, what other choice do they have? Are they going to talk about how boring their president is, how he's not actually fixing any of the problems they spend all their time complaining about, right? Yeah, you're right. And it'll just make the right-wing media more powerful. Okay, so a little bit of a distribution here at 97. I could have held that, but I didn't want to hold it through the open. I'm okay with taking just the 2 points. Overall, it does. I do see a possibility of 02 or 92 rather. Pretty solid downtrend there for sure. Flow continues to favor the Dow. You can see here on my chart that it looks like the S&P 500 is gaining strength on the NASDAQ considerably. So it looks like the NASDAQ is dragging us down, and the cumulative delta through almost this whole thing has been negative. Hard to pick a spot to get short again. There's a lot of volume transacting back and forth there, though. The Murdoch sons are tired of being shunned in the Hamptons. Dick's Sporting Goods names new CEO. I'm not completely sold on this narrative that. So Jay Constant puts very well that the far left of the USA is still right wing here in the Netherlands. No, I don't think so. Like the far left in the United States is supporting a far left communist revolution. So even I think even in the Netherlands, that's a pretty radical suggestion. So there's kind of a difference between like what the base of the people say and what any of the politicians would actually do, right? I judge my presidents by their wives. Blada is the finest, hottest, and most beautiful first lady our country has ever had so far. There you go. Okay. Fair enough. Fair enough. Oh, they're making me want to just sell it here so bad, but I don't think that it's a safe sell. Okay, there's a slightly lower low.
Gary Rich says I'm paying attention. Who is Commerce Sec and Education Sec
There
in
it
this
is.
administration?
They haven't called the education secretary, have they? Now the whole thing about college debt forgiveness, that one's still interesting. That they're talking about that seriously because it doesn't sound like a realistic thing to happen. But would he pick somebody that's pushing that? I think he could. And yeah, what about chief trade negotiator, huh? Like, technically, they still have a deal to work out with the Chinese, right? I'm sure that they'll just flop over on it, but.
RJ Wheel says Hunter gets that job.
Oh, jeez.
Gary Rich says I see education stocks coming back. The tariffs will be unwound by Commerce Sec. It's all about making money.
Wait,
Uzi
why
Knesset
would...
says Chinese slave labor mighty good for shareholder value.
Yeah, you're gonna have to explain that one to me, because wouldn't education, like companies involved in the education sphere, be doing better under the current education regime where they were pushing that sort of stuff? Or do you mean coming back meaning they're going to decline relative to the rest of the market? Okay, this is turning. Oh, that's what I like to see when I get in a position. Booyah.
RJ Wheel says more free Monet. RJ Wheel says money for education co to pilfer.
Sure. I really wish that the school choice issue was a bigger, was an issue more people cared about and did better, because I wouldn't mind sending my kids to a private school. I feel like that they could.
Gary Rich says the education stocks will get new support by Gov, like Apollo as example. Money will come their way.
I think my kids, my stepkids, are really smart. Like they have extremely above average language skills. Math, maybe, but language skills above average. I feel like that if they were at a school there would really push them, because they're not particularly self-motivated people, but it's expensive. I don't want to spend that money. Schools here in Utah are pretty good though. Okay, well, I've kind of gotten some good swarms both ways here. I think overall, though, they're struggling there. I guess we'll take it there. That book is a little shaky too. S&P is 1 to 1.5% full of long gamma, or where? Okay. I've never heard it described that way, and I don't know what that means. TD Ameritrade having issues, according to Down Detector. Yeah. I guess I could have held that one out, but I don't know. This is a little better here. We could try. I gotta be careful about this one though, because I'm not so sure that this is just gonna like rebound and go and make a new high. Okay. Hmm. Just note that those buy side market makers aren't really holding it.
Vlad Stolyarov says oil up.
Whew. Wow. That sure was something.
Vlad Stolyarov says lol.
You're right, oil is running pretty good right now. The dollar is running pretty strong too, actually. That might be part of why. Gold still looks negative.
Vlad Stolyarov says watch AAPLTSLA.
They fight me today. That twist back there is a little too strong, huh?
Uzi Knesset says geez, ZB is a mess today. A boring mess.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting how we see stuff that looks pretty wild over in the E-mini, and then you look at the Treasury and they're not reacting to it at all. It's like when they react to things and when they don't seems really random to me.
Vlad Stolyarov says this price action was all over the place.
Although we also have to admit that the action
Gary
did
Rich
the
says
E-mini
got
is a
my
little...
Christmas present early, oil ripped my face off.
Oh, there you go. Good job, Gary. Oh wait, were you short oil? Hmm. Well, a series of bad trades. It's not
Gary
too bad
Rich says I
actually,
lost
but
due to a short.
I gotcha. Okay, is a big order showing up there? Big offer.
Winston's mom says good morning, stuffy sounding speculator Seth. Did your doctor suggest you use a neti pot? It's pretty miserable when you can't breathe. And
What
good
is a
morning,
neti
day
pot?
traders.
Just need something to get the... Oh, I don't think that's the issue. I'm just getting like drainage from like the blood draining. This is what it is.
Vlad Stolyarov says Darth Vader mask.
Taking
Uzi
off
Knesset says neti pots
the
are great. Not for what you got going on the lol.
yeah, taking out the stents inside will probably make a big difference.
Winston's mom says a neti pot is a little irrigation device that cleans out your sinus cavities with saline. I use them when I get stuffy or else I will get a headache.
Well, that sounds like a different sort of a thing. I'm just getting it like, you know, a little bit of liquid on the edge of the nostrils. And you put a Kleenex to it, and it's like yellow liquid. I know, gross, right? You don't want to hear about that. But I'm constantly dabbing my nose here. That's why I don't have the
Winston's mom
camera
says
on.
I like the Darth Vader mask idea. Lol Vlad Stolyarov. Winston's mom says must snot pun.
All right. The other thing is my eyes are just watering like crazy today for whatever reason. So well, that long was pretty good, I must say. Yeah, this is going pretty good. And they're pushing through those offers pretty easily. Now, the cumulative delta has not turned long yet.
Winston's mom says 30 watching the board, not
So we should
speculator
watch
set.
that.
Will everyone please take a quick second to hit the like button? Thanks.
If we start to get long volume coming in, and I think that we would maybe need to get above the open for that to happen, but if that's what starts to happen, then that could be really positive for us. Gold right at 1,800 right now, and oil is just running. What's the deal in oil, man? Is there some news driving that action in oil?
Luis Alarid says I was nauseous all week, feel better today, COVID stomach?
I don't know. Does COVID make you feel nauseous? The big symptom I keep hearing is that you lose your sense of taste and smell. Majority of Republicans would support Trump in 2024. Trump gets 53% among Republicans and Republican reading independents. Pence came in second at only 12%.
Uzi Knesset says back to normal, bro. Mideast meddling, inflated oil prices.
Oh, there you go. Yep, they take those takes awfully fast.
Gary Rich says oil is moving up for supply, demand, and possible getting back to work with vaccine soon.
Okay. Well, I mean, that's kind of... It seems like that's been the story the past few days, is that they're expecting demand to pick up, but you would think that a breakout like that would be off of some
Uzi
news
Knesset
too.
says that's a good point too.
I feel like that something today would have changed, but I guess it's not necessary for that to happen, especially with the run that they've had, right? I guess I still have my mind on yesterday when we had that pretty aggressive move down, and I was like, what is this? There's no story. I don't see anything. And it turned out that they were actually moving off of comments about the stimulus and where it was going in Congress, and that it wasn't going very well. So I'm just a little hyper aware of like missing news, you know? Okay, so there's the open.
Vlad Stolyarov says baby is trying to wreck everything.
The baby is trying to wreck everything. What? Can you hear the baby? Well, I'm coming up short of the open there for now. They're like, no, we're not going to do it. Look, it's turning right there. So we should know the volume long still hasn't come in yet, the cumulative delta long. There's going to be a decent amount of positioning up there. They are on the long side, though, already. So
Winston's
I
mom
would
says
have to bet
Bloomberg
on
has a
it
new
coming
article
in.
on oil, but I have reached my free limit and couldn't grab it. The article was published 2 hours ago.
Did you just hate that? And then I'm like, should I get a Bloomberg subscription? But then I'm like, yeah, but I want a Financial Times subscription. And I just need a subscription to all of them. They could all just contact me and give me subscriptions that can help them out, you know. Send people to them. Oh, it's great. Nah. I wish that I had a news service like that I could recommend, but every time I look at them, I'm kind of they leave something to be desired. I think the Financial Juice for a news squawk, I think the price that you get, that's great. I can recommend them. But any of these like Bloomberg and CNBC and stuff, I don't think that the value is necessarily all there. Or at least certainly not for one over the others. Okay, so we're getting the Richmond Fed numbers coming in here. Still kind of, so pushing now high of the regular trading session. This is kind of that area where we were shorting with the ace earlier. Okay. And that's a push over the pivot that happened at the beginning of the regular session. We are getting kind of a doji here, but oh, and a little bit of pushing around too. The volume still looks healthy, and the level, not seeing anything too odd in the level 2 in the E-midi. The Treasury's just still really boring and stable. Even ZB. Even CB, you'd have a hard time catching 2 ticks.
Gary Rich says when a vaccine comes and distributed, have to look back, learn what we did right and mistakes made markets or trading wise.
You know, I kind of wonder, Gary, like, there are some markets that you really just can't trade, right? I think we've seen a lot of that over the last few months. Markets that were really, really easy, and then markets that were not worth trading, you know? Going into the end of the summer, man, that was such an easy market. It was like, it didn't matter what I did, you were winning big, you know? This market is a lot more stingy. We're doing okay, but I haven't made any like huge disasters lately. But what, yesterday we came out break even. Right now we're up 20. Could have handled
Gary
that
Rich
stuff down at
says
the bottom
yes.
a lot better. Yeah. That seems to me to be the hardest skill, is knowing when you shouldn't be trading it when it's happening. Because when it's happening, the action that you should be trading seems like the greatest opportunity, you know? To me, at least, it always seems like a great opportunity. And then afterwards, you're like, oh, I shouldn't have done this. Oh, of course, this would be bad action. Yeah. That's a funny headline. So Zero Hedge says consumer confidence slumps in November as hope fades. So we got 96.1 versus an estimated 98 and a previous of 100.9. So consumer confidence is still near and close to all-time highs, but because it's not like over 100 anymore, that's a huge slump in sentiment. Oh man. The market ear asks if Yellen is loading up on Bitcoin. Are they still pushing? Are they going for that? Well, yeah, they are. Maybe they pushed for 20K today. I don't know. I still see them having built quite a bit of room up above us, so I think we could see a new daily high. Whew. Yeah, pretty easy little glide up there. Look at that one. That just retraced through like practically everything. That's not the regular session high though. The regular session high. Oh no, now we're through the regular session high. Or sorry, overnight session high. New high. Pretty close. Well, that kind of looked a little bit more like FOMO than it did stop runs, but yeah. It's just kind of a little trickle into us, but it's not. There is somebody fighting it a little bit there, but I think that that is probably profit-taking activity. Anyways. Not bad for a stuffy nose, eh? Eh? And this trade right here wasn't awful either. In fact, on both of these, having two contracts on and only taking -2 is good. Now, this one, I probably should have ridden the second contract out a little bit more. I didn't think that it was going to take off nearly that quickly. I usually like to go for 50.
Luis Alarid says anyone planning on attending the inauguration?
No, are they even going to have an inauguration? Like, based on the trajectory estimates that I saw, things are going to be
RJ
pretty
Wheels
rough
says
in
ES hit the
January.
mark. Overnight high. Repeatable. You can bank on it.
Yeah. Now, I want to point out during that whole recovery there, ES doing better than the Nasdaq still. Kind of looks like the value rotations trade maybe still coming in a little bit. Should we go look
Gary
at some
Rich says
individual
just 3
stocks and
years ago
see?
BTC was here. Not saying it can't retrace, but this time it's different for BTC. It's not like it was 3 years ago.
I don't know. So again, the thing that my model shows
RJ
you.
Wheels says Biden will have the most cars and car horns blaring in inauguration history.
Oh, there you go. That do it all with a drive-in. Now, the thing that's different with that you can see just from fundamental value metrics that we can look at is there's not nearly as much interest in Bitcoin as there was last time around, but there's been a halving and the block reward is less, and so supply is much more constrained. So you can see that right now, the way that the Bitcoin whales are pushing this, they're very much trying to take advantage of the supply issue. Okay. So waiting for news off of that one. I could maybe try reversing that actually. Yeah. Oh, come on. So close. Ah. Okay. That we want out. We want out. Out. I'm just gonna put a stop at break even. See if they recover this. This is China news again. Okay, so now I see it on Twitter. I'll tell you, Trump weighing sanctions related to crackdown in Hong Kong, says the New York Times. Okay. I wish that I had taken that a little bit earlier and gotten the full $10 off of that, but that's okay. Now that I know what the headline is. Do you think the market will shrug this one off? There was this headline yesterday and they shrugged it off, right? You're right. Having sucks for the miners of Bitcoin. It keeps it stable. It will continue to climb over time. Well, in the long run, I think, yeah, it should. But I at the current moment, I don't think that a price over 20K is justified by the supply. And particularly the demand. I mean, that's the real thing that's missing here, right? There's this they're making an awfully big bet on future activity coming into the blockchain that as of yet isn't happening, and they're really far front running it, you know. Great way to keep it stable. I don't think that anything about what's happening right now looks anything like stable. Who knows? Maybe PayPal does result in a lot of online retailers allowing you to use Bitcoins. That's what you would have to be betting on, right? Well, I could have maybe held on to that one for a little bit longer. It looks like they're going to shrug that one off. They don't believe it, or they're calling it they're calling it a bluff. Blockade will expand. Well, I don't believe you. Like, here's the thing. This was a problem 3 years ago. Why haven't they done anything about it? Well, they tried to find something about it, and I think they failed. But either way, like, they're front running it a ton. Like, I'm just saying, like, how can you get to like all-time overbought level, and then we're gonna, like we said, they're all calling for it to quadruple after that? No. Either way, I'm not going to be involved in it. No, thank you. Looks like a disaster waiting to happen to me. Elon Musk passes Bill Gates to become the world's second richest person, says Bloomberg. Well, you're getting some back and forth here, but I don't know. I'm not really seeing the kind of activity that makes me think that informed traders are trying to continue this move down. Here's a great talk, and I'm probably going to disagree with like everything he says. Yeah. Who is it by? That's an hour. I don't know if I have time to watch that. I think I'll fall asleep. Huh. He's an old man. He's not an old man. He's just got gray hair. I'll leave it open just in case I get bored. I can't guarantee I'll have the time to watch that today, though. I'm worried that when they take these tents out of my nose, that it'll be like painful. I'll just be sitting there, you know. I tried reading my book on market microstructure. Ooh, you know, I'm learning. So this book, I don't remember who it was that suggested that book, but that was probably the best book suggestion I've ever been given. It was, you know, financial markets under the microscope. And, oh, it's good. And they're going into like statistical properties of just cues. And I'm learning a couple of things that I didn't realize before that I thought were interesting. For instance, the larger a queue gets, that is, the more people that are waiting in line here at any one price level, the greater the probability is of there being cancellations, and vice versa. And so there is just a statistical, like if everything was random, then it should just equalize at a certain level. And I think you see that they'll kind of equalize around certain spots, 15, 2K, and 3K, you know, and it's fairly stable. And then what you should see is if it's really truly stable, they're going to hit 08 half, and then more people should come in to make up for that, and it should stabilize back out again. And if you don't see that, then I think that kind of tells you something like, oh, okay, market makers are concerned about getting a toxic fill here. In this case, they seem to be pretty stable at around 500, so let's see what they do. Oh, we're long in this area in ES. I mean, a lot of people would short, so if they decided to go for a new high, I bet you they'd get some good stops out of it at least. So what do you think the Trump administration's actions would be in regards to Hong Kong? Okay, so they cleared it and they bid another 600. Germany's 16 regions agreed to extend the lockdown light until at least December 20th. Oh, is that how it works in Germany? They don't have states or provinces, they have regions? Okay, and now at 08.5, it is stabilized back to 2000. So see, I learned something, guys. It seems like an incredibly dull and mundane thing, but I'm kind of excited about it. I'm kind of excited about it. Q switched there because the 5-year ticked up. And the guys that were selling into 08.5 have just completely stopped because of that. And they clear it. Yep, okay. I thought so. It looked 33.46. A pretty aggressive bid there. Oh, 09, what was that? A 2000 placed on there? Yeah. The E-Bitty trying to push too high again. They got one tick. Wake up, Baron, I'm taking over your bedroom. Oh, I really wonder what is he going to do. Because I get the feeling from the people, like what the people inside the campaign kind of say, that he wants to run in 2024, that it's already given that they're going to run in 2024, which I think is a terrible idea, by the way. I honestly believe that the best thing for quote unquote Trumpism is for it to continue on without Donald Trump. That the ideas are really good and have some real staying power, but that the personality is too big of a stumbling block for some. Live Squawk is retweeting somebody that's just talking in German. That must be about the closings. Bitfinex tweeting, sure, let's trust a company that tried to cover up an $850 million loss until the New York Attorney General blew their cover. Responding to Larry Surbax, when the peg starts breaking by more than 5%, that's when Tether comes in and releases one. Would you pay for annotations if you were a clear leader and your customers didn't care? Would funds continue wiring millions if they didn't trust Tether? Well, Actually, I think they would. I think that they just want to be involved in the market and they don't care how they have to get it in there. It makes you wonder when the next shoe is going to drop in the Tether saga. It really is just taking forever. But to hold it in the face of the swamp onslaught with the big personality, Ted Cruz or Rubio couldn't flip to those policies. I think they could, actually. I don't think Rubio could do it. They don't trust Rubio. But Ted Cruz has been doing everything he can to ingratiate himself to Donald Trump supporters, and I think that they're really impressed with what he's been doing, and I think that they believe he understands it, and I think that he could run on that platform. I think that he will run on that platform, and that he'll do so quite effectively. The issue for Ted Cruz is that they're going to argue that Ted Cruz is trying to turn us into a theocracy. That's always going to be the argument on that side, right? See, that's part of why Donald Trump was so potent, was because the argument you always make against a Republican that's trying to fight against the establishment is to say that they want a theocracy. Or that, he's too conservative on social issues. That's what they did with Mitt Romney, right? They said, well, he's a Mormon and he'll hate gay people and he'll hate black people, which was kind of silly because you remember the whole thing about Mitt Romney has a black grandchild and all that stuff, right? Okay, they tried it on Mitt Romney. But Donald Trump, it didn't work because nobody thought that he was a moral man. You go back to Ted Cruz, then you have that problem again. So that would be the downside to Ted Cruz. Oh, somebody sent me a message on Twitter. Oh, that was funny. Somebody was asking me, like, they were going through YouTube's terms of services, and they were saying, "Oh, hey, it's against YouTube's terms of service to make these lofty claims about, oh, if you do this thing, you'll make millions of dollars and this sort of a thing, and you can't promote pyramid schemes and so on and so forth." And you're like, so does YouTube take those down? No way. They absolutely don't take it down. They probably make too much money off of those channels, to be honest. Okay, so there was another stop run of the highs. That one kind of looked like a stop run, although it was a little bit of a gentle one. And they still don't seem to care about this China news, which, you know what, I can see why they would ignore it. So that's why when I originally did this, even though I didn't completely know what the story was, I was like, well, let's try and buy the liquidity vacuum. Probably could have held that and gotten 10 out of it, but overall.
Block sell. Sorry, I was like typing something else. I didn't even see what you guys were saying. Bring little Rubio over here. Okay, are you hiding in this closet and don't come out until I tell you? Okay, boss man. That's what. There's something to it. The Donald Trump guys in particular really don't like Rubio. And it really has been like Rubio has kind of been picking the wrong side the whole time. Like he was always kind of trying to attack Donald Trump. And that's the thing you will see a lot. You're going to see a lot of this in the Republican circle now. Is you're going to see a candidate come out and they're going to say, yeah, we should be tough on China. We should stop these jobs from going overseas. And nobody's going to believe them. And frankly, why should they? Because they've been pushing this sort of stuff for years, you know? Remember that it was Richard Nixon, it was a Republican that started all this crap in the first place, right? Republicans were fully on board with this up until, yeah, frankly, it really didn't become a thing until Donald Trump started talking about it. Frankly, I can't really think of another spot where it really started before that. Before that, it was more of a Democrat issue. It's really crazy how the Democrats have turned into like the party of the rich all of a sudden, isn't it?
Man, we still got an hour left. We're still just kind of chilling up here, though. You think that we're gonna fall back down? It kind of looks like it's turning down, but they're not really. I don't know. And I should note that the cumulative delta still did not pick up. It's kind of, they're chomping at the bit there. Like, they want to go up, don't they? I have to say, the candles are pretty, the 5-minute candles here are pretty disorganized, too. Treasury's sold down. Oh, I didn't notice that one. Pretty good amount came in and slowed it down. In fact, I'm just like off here. I feel like I'm off here in La La Land. I was responding to that tweet, and yeah, it doesn't always tell me when people ask me to send me a message. You come in here. Where's my settings? Let's try that. I don't know. It's they're kind of they look like they want to go up, but I have like no desire to click it over here. This just kind of looks like messy random action. Maybe it does turn back down. I am noticing that the S&P 500 dominance is kind of subsiding a little bit. The Nasdaq is coming back. Overall liquidity, so just certainly not as active, but it's also like very much mixed. I see like a ton of big orders being involved in here. Okay, there's another high. I think this is something that could just like continue to go, but that it would be really hard for us to find a good spot, NQ took. I'm sure NQ is dragging them, huh? Facebook ran tests this year to figure out if bad for the world content could be demoted in users' feeds. It could, but there was a problem. It decreased the number of times users opened Facebook. Because people wanted to read that stuff, yes. Well, that's really going now. The market must be thinking like, the robots are getting all excited about this China news thing, but they're not actually going to do anything that would really affect the markets. I think that's true. Like, what would the administration actually do? It's hard to imagine a sanction being put on that would have a significant impact on the economy, That was some long volume did finally come in there. I also should know, it seems like that the buyers don't actually have that much money to work with to push it up there. Because they really had to wait for the cumulative delta to drop down there again before pushing it and stopping them out. Well, like I said, when it was going down there, it was just kind of like random. I don't know. It wouldn't have been a bad spot to buy. So also that liquidity didn't just step out of the way either. Like they took the fills. How can you get it out? Schumer boots Feinstein from Judiciary Committee leadership. Graham literally ran out of her job. What? Aggressive put a target on Dianne Feinstein's back for the moment she embraced Lindsey Graham at the end of the Justice Amy Coney Barrett's confirmation hearing. Shortly after, Chuck Schumer made a public show of rebuking Feinstein for being so easy on Graham and Barrett in the Senate Judiciary Committee hearing, even though none of the other Democrats on the panel ever laid a glove on Barrett either. The writing was on the wall for Feinstein at that point. It's clear Schumer booted her from leadership position on the judiciary, even if she's issuing team player statements in the aftermath. Okay, so which platform will be the best to operate the CB from Europe? I'm currently NT Dorman with CQG. Think maybe a European broker could give me a faster connection to Chicago. No, I don't think that's really going to be the issue. So do you feel like that? Why do you feel that your latency to the exchange is a significant factor in your trading? Yeah, no problem. I'm trying to remember. There's two brokers that you could get through DigiTrader, right? There's Dorman and what's the other one? Phillips Capital is the other one. That's right. Yeah, Vlad beat me to it. Yeah, 141 milliseconds latency. That's not terrible, Emmanuel, to be honest with you. I mean, think about how fast 141 milliseconds is, right? Like your reaction time, like a person, is maybe between 200 and 300 milliseconds, right? So the order is going to go in there faster than you could ever react. Your reaction time is a more important factor than the latency. So that's where I kind of feel like that anything over, half a second, below half a second, you're going to have to be going automated for it to be reliable or stuff. The other is Philip, but I think both are US based. Well, over 100 milliseconds is relative bad. I mean, I think I get like 50. But I'm just saying, relatively speaking, the latency probably isn't going to be the thing that makes your strategy profitable or not profitable. If 100 milliseconds of latency seriously affects your strategy, you probably need to be looking to automate it. And then you could run something like speedy servers or whatever. Run it over on speedy servers, and that would get you the fastest access to the exchange, right? I'm trying to remember, one of those is better for Europeans. Dorman for International. So it sounds like you're on the right one. Yeah. Excuse me. Well, so here's the next question. Why do you want to trade US based stuff? If you're over there in Europe, you'd probably be better off trading the FDAX or the Bund, right? Your order has to go over the internet from your location to Chicago anyways. Where the broker is does make a difference. Exactly. Yeah. Well, that's what I was like. So, like, I think it's speedyservers.net. Is that the one? Speedyservers.net. Is that who it is? Let's go look. They gave a thing on Futures.io at one point. And Speedy Trading Servers. SpeedyTradingServers.com. High performance, reliable, co-located, virtual, and dedicated servers for professional and individual traders. So, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, in fact, it has been pretty much reliable, minimum slippage and everything. Maybe I'm just being too perfectionist, but thanks for your comment. Just discovered your channel today. Oh, cool. Hey, thank you very much. I am like, I'm kind of sick. Here's my face. Hi, how are you? I had nose surgery and they're going to take the stents out today. That's why I sound so terrible. We did okay today with sim trading till the end of the year, but we did okay. We had $45. Probably could have made another $20 off of that rise there, but I just don't like that kind of action. It's kind of like it kind of goes nowhere and then it just goes up for no reason, because any other day that could reverse on you. You got to be careful. Well, probably though, it kind of looks like that the same kind of things that have been pushing us up for the past few months is kind of playing it again, and I bet you that there's some gamma melt up going on in here. Anyways, but yeah, so if you could automate your strategy, I would recommend people try and automate parts of their strategy anyways, just to see if the statistics of how it behaves are really what they think they are, because I think you can find most of the time that it's not. But of course, the things that I've found have the most edge, like order flow and things like that, are a lot harder to test that sort of stuff. It's a lot harder to get that data right. So ugh. Got a bunch of tabs open now. I need that. Trump says his legal team run by Giuliani is comprised of fools and is making him look bad. That was 18 hours ago. I didn't hear that. Well, there you go. Merrill Lynch, our website is currently unavailable. Joe Biden has passed 80 million votes. Okay. This is just going. What do you think? You want the high info readers back? I don't think that there's really a good website for high information readers. Certainly not a social media platform. It seems to me that social media really disfavors highly informed users. I was thinking that a European broker would have better quality connection routing and all that. My connection is doing the longest part of the travel this way. Yeah. But that's where, if you were trading a European instrument, that would probably be better. You see that Merrill Lynch? Is that oil still going? Well, they've kind of tapered off a little bit, but I guess probably some of this rise in equities could be because of oil too. Oh, and it sounds like Pennsylvania has certified their election results now. I don't know. I'm not really seeing a whole lot in the fundamentals that should be pushing us up, other than just like a continuation of more of the same melt up. She should. There are no serious issues between the U.S. and its allies. Deteriorating U.S.-China ties have forced many countries to pick sides, which is not in their interest. So whether Biden administration can rationally handle competition with China is the key. In other words, dear Joe Biden, please let us do whatever we want. Fundamentals are Bitcoin still up? Oh, jeez. Still good. Wow, it hasn't really moved since we looked at it. I like U.S. markets, but you're right. I've been thinking get Germany sometime now. I get a lot of people from Germany. There's a lot of traders. I've noticed that an unusually high number of traders in both Germany and Australia that come to our channel. Longer term chart, maybe. This is just a return to the higher end of the range. Altcoins need to chase it. Well, I think that you're got to remember that anytime that there's a big thing going on in one of these coins, like it is with Ethereum right now, that you tend to see a rise in the Bitcoin markets as everybody tries to buy in to take advantage of those. So Ethereum 2.0 is supposed to be activated. Oh, you know what? You don't want to see me stick toilet paper in my nose. December 1st is when Ethereum 2.0 is supposed to be activated, right? So I would expect that the drop would probably come after that. Probably would come sometime mid-December. New York City to conduct car, bus, and spot checks to enforce travel rules. Oh my gosh, this is just getting ridiculous, guys. They want to shut the whole country down, but buy all of the things. Do they not think that it's actually going to lock down? Yeah, how is that? Now, the New York City isn't on that level of lockdown yet, though, is it? That they are actually like enforcing travel rules and stuff? That's kind of crazy. So, like, we're getting the gamma melts up, but I'm a little cautious about how sustainable this really is. Like, when it moves like that, I don't think that that's something we can predict really very easily, is it? I've had a hard time. Almost to the top of the hour, so got 30 minutes left, huh? Till the London close, at least. Is that when? I still wasn't quite sure when the London closes yet, if they've worked out the daylight savings time is back in sync yet or not. That only lasts for like a week, though. That was a couple of weeks ago, so must be that they close at 9:30 Eastern time. Well, we're seeing a significant drop in cumulative delta here. It's a little late for the short, to be honest, but there's plenty of room below us to do it. Crude reaches 45 barrels. BBL, I don't know what BBL stands for the first time since March 6th. That's a pretty big up move today, isn't it? The sweet light hasn't reached 45 yet, though. Not quite. It's just kind of slipping up. Oh, holding. All right. Goes back and hits it hard. Nope. Chasing. Damn. All right. You think that Tesla's moving higher still? Okay, well, I was just kind of looking at that last down bar. When the buys come back in, though, it's pretty aggressive, isn't it? I'm having a hard time getting the local liquidity to do what I want it to do. Apple recovered. I was watching one guy. He had a pretty good take on Apple. That he was saying, we got Black Friday coming up, and they often will sell Apple going into big events so that they can pump it back up. I think that kind of a play makes a lot of sense. Well, that last one, I did not want that to turn out the way that it did. This up action's got FOMO written all over it. Right back up there to the high like it was nothing. Okay. Well, my model still shows the room up above us, actually, believe it or not. It doesn't get till overdone until 45. Wow. Well, that's not going to be a good way to look at it right now. Probably we need to look at fixed targets since we're having a gamma melt up. And that puts us at 3627. That's still really far away. Huh. And when you look at like some of the value areas and everything, those are pretty far away too. Like they're 30, 3630. Yeah. Well, that's interesting. Like it looks like just a little too crazy for me here, but then everything that I look at says that it could go further, so all of my kind of like range target sort of things say that this could go further. look at that stop run. Well, that's good. That cancels out our little boo-boo there and then some. Hi, son. My son, he's at the door and he's banging on the door, like, let me in. Man. Okay, just a second. Come here, you want to come in? Oh, you like the new chalkboard? Pretty good chalkboard, huh? Here we are. You guys can look at the baby. The baby's here. You want to tell them something? Or you just want to grab the microphone? Can you not grab the microphone though? You don't touch the microphone. The microphone is for talking into. You say, Dada. Dada. No? Okay. How high do you think the S&P 500 will go today? It's just running pretty good there. You see? You see? It's going pretty good. The oil is going pretty good. Gold, not so hot. Gold's kind of a little iffy. There's the dollar kind of went up and kind of down. Treasury's a little depressed too. He's running pretty good. Let him slobber on the mic. Well, the issue is not that he's gonna just is that this mic can like fall over really easily. It's not, the stand for it isn't very stable. That's the problem. Plus, I would rather he just say stuff. He's so vocal all the time, but then when he's streaming, I think he knows. I think he knows that he's on camera. So he doesn't say anything. He gets shy. You're shy around strangers. Oops. Let's put it that way. There you go. Covers your face otherwise. You see right there? See right there? You see you? Hi. Say hello. Hi. Say hi. How about if I do this? It's my hand.
Block sell.
Ooh, that was a sell in the Treasury right there. That was 3,400 just smashed through 7. Woo. I don't know. I think the Treasuries are going to start saying, if you guys got to buy all the things, we're going to punish you for it at some point. I guess it depends on why are equities moving up. Is it because they expect more monetary stimulus in the future? That's where you're gonna make it fall on you. Yeah. Yeah, I pushed him a lot closer to the mic. Oh, you just mean how big he got. Yeah, you know, he is for height, he is 90th percentile for height. Can you believe that? But he's also 20th percentile for head shape, so I don't know what his deal is. He's a big boy. Like, he's twice as big as some kids this age. You want to go see mom? You getting bored? Come here. Let's go see what mom's doing. You really want to come in, don't you? He didn't want to do that. He wants to touch that thing. Oh, don't touch that. That's gross. Yeah. It's bloody. Ow, ow, ow. You talk into it? Here, wait. Here. You put the headphones on. There's your headphones on. And now you see we can talk into it. Can you hear us talking into it? No? You don't want to wear the headphones? Okay, I don't wear the headphones then. I just put them over there. They're still just melting up. There's another new high. Well, we got out of that last one. What did we get out at? 20. So another $10. Is it quite a bit? Well, actually, there wasn't. One of the crazy things about this bull move is that it's not really pulling back very much. I think we should go look at some individual stocks. What do you think, Asher? Yeah? Look at some individual stocks? I sound rough. I do. My nose is not happy, man. It's not happy. Well, it's like I have no idea what's going on today. Wow, Tesla is going. Look at that. Okay. Well, so let's see here. VIX is a little bit subdued. Push it down into the 22 area. Not really seeing our miners pick it up. The healthcare company's still at a range. Apple just took such a beating yesterday. Even a little bit of a retracement like that is going to be important, significant. But PPL, I don't even remember what that is. What did I put that on there for? PPL stock. What is it? Electric Service. Oh, that's right. We were looking for an Electric Services Corporation. Well, I think that I would still rather look at AT&T. AT&T is curious to me. It's been pretty bad the past little while, though. Look at that. There's some bearish action in AT&T, although they recovered it quickly. Who could give you stocks? XO. Those are all tech stocks. That doesn't give us a better overall view of different sectors of the market. I'm kind of tempted to just go and buy some AT&T here. The way the market is trading today, man. Well, I'll pull this over here. Yeah, it looks like my Goldman is up pretty good today. 235. That's above. That's some long-term resistance too. So if the banks inflate back up, that could be significant. Yeah. Huh. Oh, I can smell it. Doesn't smell good. It smells like I'm dying is what it smells like. You like GE? So I remember that whole thing about how they're saying that GE was basically engaged in accounting malpractice and everything. I never heard anything about that, but it kind of makes me a little wary about that one. GE has been one where I'm not necessarily sure I see what the future growth for that is, but AT&T have got like 5G and all that. Well, I really think this could just keep going, but it's like, where should I buy into it? Well, there's some liquidity there at 36.25. Let's see how they react to that liquidity there. It's almost, oh, okay. Dow hits 30,000 milestone. CNBC loves talking about the 30K Dow. Oh, really? I bet. Well, because everybody loves to hear the Dow. Regular people think that the number on the Dow actually matters. Carl Quintilla, only 10 months late. There's still that liquidity at 36.25. See what they do there, and then so the question I have is going to be, how quickly do they go through it? Because I think that they're almost certainly to trade through it. Okay, so not on the first attempt. Not on the first attempt. You getting tired of sitting there now? Well, there's not as much they're suggesting that it was all just profit taking target, and yep. There we go. Oh, almost. Almost. It almost did it. Hi. Here, look. Here's a little spider thing. What do you think about that? It is gross. Don't stick it in your mouth. Yo. Is a spider in your mouth? What? Gross. That kind of concerns me. That kind of concerns me. The Boomer portfolio, Dow, Gold, GE, and Walmart. Hey, Walmart might not be a bad one to pick up. VSCN if you want high risk. No, I want, if I'm looking for new stocks, I'm looking for diversification. So what do we got? We got a tech stock. We got and I'm not necessarily in all these. I'm just kind of watching them, but I am in Goldman. I've told you that one for a long time. So I got a bank stock, and I've got a what do we call it? A cloud services stock, and then I'm thinking about a utility like AT&T. I think that we want something in the healthcare sector. It's going to be the next one, so healthcare would probably be useful. And then, I guess we could have some high risk ones or high beta names, but it would need to be in a different sector. I guess airlines wouldn't be bad, but I'm not a huge fan of holding airlines, to be honest. Those are always a mess. Consumer discretionary. I guess consumer discretionary would make more sense. Well, I think we gotta get going, but you think about it. Come back tomorrow for your favorite consumer discretionary stocks. Okay, we'll go. I will see you guys tomorrow. Hopefully I'm feeling better tomorrow. Stay